Hello everyone and welcome to the webcast, a better way to manage infrastructure and automate IT tasks. All lines will be muted throughout the session, but please use the Q&A button to ask questions at any time. We will be answering your questions throughout the event. To turn on English subtitles, please use the closed captioning button at the bottom of your screen. And a quick note, this session is being recorded and will be available for you to watch again. Please welcome our speakers for today, Simon Coulter and Julie Wong from Product Management at Oracle. Simon, over to you.
Thanks, moderator, and welcome everyone today for this session that is going to be focused on a better way to on how to manage infrastructure and automate IT tasks. So while looking at the infrastructure management and the life cycle of infrastructure management, IT administrators are looking for a way to automate and manage the life cycle of systems, right? And systems mean compute, storage, network, including the operating system, right? And this life cycle is a continuous cycle to deploy and provision in the operating system, patches, maintain security compliance, monitoring and remediating, and so on and so on. IT administrators need tools to automate the management for the operating system, right? So to perform patching, to monitor the availability of those systems, as well as the security, possible bugs that are there, even possible enhancement updates that can also remediate to those issues, right? And this is valid for the entire infrastructure, right? It's valid for compute, storage, as well as network and systems. And we have four main concepts there, right, that are part of the infrastructure management lifecycle: deployment and provisioning, software management and updates, reporting, security and compliance, monitoring and assessment. So while looking at infrastructure management requirements and challenges that we have today there, right? And we get on those four categories that we just mentioned. While looking at deployment and provisioning, which one are the requirements and challenges that companies are today looking for, or IT administrators need to address? The first one is the provisioning, right? And provisioning is today even more complex than in the past, just because provisioning new system, new services could easily mean provisioning those on a multi-cloud scenario, right? Not just on premises, but can be on premises as well as on the cloud. Another important requirement is the automation of those deployments, of those provisioning processes. And obviously, the expectation from the company is that there's a standardized deployment process there, right? To possibly avoid any kind of configuration drift between systems running here on premises and systems running on the cloud. And obviously, another important requirement related to deployment provisioning is also the fact that those services have to be there, so an availability has to be in place. While looking to software management and updates, requirements and challenges there are quite common to any company, to any IT administrator. So the requirement is to have a solution able to manage the software inventory, a solution able to update and patch the entire infrastructure, a solution also able to manage security and vulnerabilities, right? So security is also a very important topic today for many, many companies. That said, while moving to reporting, security, and compliance, the requirements there are obviously important. Important because the compliancy as well as the security status of services are going also to be an important part of the business. And so we need a solution able to easily report, even in a centralized manner, the possible security compliance, right? Possible security issues that are there on system and services. We have a solution able to understand if we are able to meet the service level agreements that are in place with us as well as for our customers. We also need a solution that need to protect against cyber attacks, right? And possible security breaches for the company. Yeah, and the last but not least point is also the monitoring and assessment requirement and challenge that is there, right? So we need a solution, a management solution able to completely manage the complete life cycle of those services. That means manage the complete life cycle of container and virtual machines, right? Or even applications. We need a solution able to report possible problems or even anticipate possible issues that could happen on our production environments or even on our production services. And we need also a solution that can easily help on optimizing the performance for those services. And to all of those requirements and challenges, there's also another important challenge, the one of managing licensing and support subscriptions across all of those environments, across all of those multi-cloud deployments. And so how do we address all of those requirements in Oracle? Yeah, the first important thing to know and to understand is that we address all of those requirements with one single Oracle Linux support subscription. So we do not have a dedicated SKU or a support subscription for each management interface or for each solution that is part of the Oracle Linux ecosystem. Everything is there and covered by one unique Oracle Linux support subscription. And while looking at the deployment and provisioning, over there we have Oracle Linux Automation Manager, we have OCNE, Oracle Cloud Native Environment, we have Oracle Linux Virtualization Manager. We are able to grant high availability with the Oracle Clusterer, as well as CoroSync and Pacemaker that are another clustering solution for Oracle Linux we support. That said, for software management and updates, we also have a new service that my colleague Julie Wong is going to also deep dive later, called OS Management Hub. While looking at reporting, security, compliance, we have other solutions we are going to deep dive, and so on and so on. But the important thing here is that with Oracle Linux Premier Support subscription, we're able to address all of those requirements with one single support subscription. So let's now deep dive into those categories that we just mentioned, to then deep dive into the products or the management solution that are today part of Oracle Linux ecosystem. And the first one is going to be the deployment and provisioning. And on this category, we are going to mention some of the solutions today available with Oracle Linux support subscription. The first one is Oracle Linux Automation Manager. So Oracle Linux Automation Manager is an automation platform that allows to automate many different things, and we're going to get there. But while looking at provisioning, right? So again, the target to automate the possible provisioning of new system and new services in the multi-cloud scenario. With Oracle Linux Automation Manager, we are able to have and grant one unified management platform able to automate the provisioning of operating system or even application, does not matter where, right? So this kind of automation platform can automate the provisioning on premises, on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, as well as on third-party cloud. And Oracle Linux Automation Manager is not just an automation platform able to provision. It's an automation platform that can cover many other challenges and requirements that are there in the management infrastructure lifecycle. Like, for example, the configuration management. I would like to check that all the systems are configured in the same way or follow the company standard. Orchestration. I can automate the application deployment. I can leverage Oracle Linux Automation Manager for the continuous delivery, as well as security and compliance, right? So it's an automation platform. It's able to automate any possible manual step. And it's not just for the operating system. It's something able to automate on servers, operating systems, as well as hardware, like, for example, load balancer, firewalls, network switches, and storage. So it's an automation platform that can automate starting from the hardware, arriving to the application layer. Moving ahead, another important piece related to the management, the provisioning, is Oracle Linux Virtualization Manager and Oracle Linux KVM. So today, with the Oracle Linux support subscription, you can also get access to a solution able to really be an alternative to the expensive VMware vSphere hypervisor. It's a solution where obviously we have a management part and a compute host, right? A compute part. The compute side is based on Oracle Linux KVM. Oracle Linux KVM is an Oracle Linux operating system. It's the Oracle Linux operating system, where the KVM hypervisor built, developed, and maintained by Oracle is there. Oracle Linux Virtualization Manager is the management platform, so the centralized management platform able to manage compute, network, and storage for the entire virtualization stack or for your own private cloud solution. It's a solution built starting from an open source project called Overt, and it's there. So it's an enterprise solution. It's integrated, tested, and supported by Oracle. That said, with this Oracle Linux Virtualization Manager and Oracle Linux KVM solution, you have also access to rapid application deployment and provisioning thanks to templates that we have there for both just the operating system as well as the Oracle database. So we have today there Oracle database templates that can really automate the Oracle database deployment on top of Oracle Linux KVM. It's a certified platform for all the Oracle software stack, and it allows you also to optimize the Oracle software licensing thanks to the hard partitioning policy that is there and available with Oracle Linux KVM. And last but not least, there's no vendor lock-in, right? KVM hypervisor is coming thanks to the kernel, the Linux kernel, and it's obviously not a lock-in there because it's an open source project. Oracle Linux Virtualization Manager, again, is coming from another open source project called Overt. So at the end, the entire solution does not really introduce any kind of lock-in. Moving ahead, another important piece related to provisioning and related to the infrastructure, again, part of the Oracle Linux support subscription is Oracle Cloud Native Environment. What Oracle Cloud Native Environment is the CNCF certified Kubernetes distribution available with Oracle Linux. CNCF certified also means that is 100% open source. So there's no lock-in even on this solution. And thanks to Oracle Cloud Native Environment, you can have the opportunity to accelerate the time to value and delivers agility for your applications as well as developer productivity. Oracle Cloud Native Environment is also OCI compliant. OCI stands for Open Container Initiative, right? What does it mean? It means that any kind of container image that had been built for a standard Kubernetes distribution or the upstream open source Kubernetes distribution can run in the same way without any kind of change on top of Oracle Cloud Native Environment. Oracle Cloud Native Environment gives you the opportunity to deploy an high available Kubernetes cluster, deploy the same on premises, on the Oracle Cloud, as well as on third-party cloud. Important thing here is that the entire solution, the entire Kubernetes distribution, the modules there, the CNI, so the container network interfaces, the container storage interfaces, all of those are again covered by the Oracle Linux Premier Support subscription. Moving ahead, I'm now going to hand over to my colleague, Julie Wong, that is going to get on this software management and updates topic and challenge.
Thanks, Simon. So let's take a look at the solutions that are included with Oracle Linux support subscriptions to help you manage software updates, which is really important to help keep your system secure, compliant, reliable, as well as performant, and updated with the latest enhancements. Keeping up to date with security updates is extremely critical to help keep systems secure. And activities, whether they are malicious or accidental on your systems, should really not go unnoticed. We also include a technology in the Oracle Linux Premier Support subscription called Oracle KSpice, which lets you apply critical operating system patches without rebooting. With KSpice, you will know when a high priority security update comes out, and you don't need to negotiate downtime with the business owner and wait days, weeks, or perhaps even months to apply it. With Ksplice, you can just patch in place right away to close that window of vulnerability. Analyst research says that it takes approximately an average about 134 days to get all systems patched. And in that time frame, you're exposing your systems to the unpatched security vulnerabilities. But with Ksplice, we have customers that apply security updates to their systems within minutes. When Ksplice applies a security patch on a select security vulnerability, it also sets a tripwire to detect if an attacker tries to use or exploit that now patched vulnerability. And we call this known exploit detection. So with Ksplice, you're not just closing the door, you're also setting an alarm. Additionally, we offer an online tool called Ksplice Inspector that you can use to check a system to see if there are vulnerabilities that Ksplice can patch. So you can take the action to address those vulnerabilities right away. So next up, we're really thrilled to have launched a new managed service called the OS Management Hub. It provides a hub for management tasks and activities, and it helps simplify the management and monitoring of updates and patches for Oracle Linux systems through a single management console on Oracle's cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And it is included with your Oracle Linux support subscription. So in the first release, you can manage your Oracle Linux systems across your private data center. OS Management Hub helps you increase security and reliability of your Oracle Linux environments by helping to ensure that you're up to date with the latest security and bug fixes. It provides visibility into where you need to take action to minimize security exposures by knowing exactly what outstanding security and critical CVEs need to be applied and where. It also helps you save time and increase efficiency through automation. OS Management Hub gives you the tools to automate your patching policies, and there's a lot of flexibility to control and customize what you want to update, when to update, and which systems and patch lifecycle environments to update. It lets you automate, schedule, and apply OS security, bug enhancements, and other types of updates. It also helps reduce complexity. And you have a centralized console that allows you to manage instances at scale with groupings for fleet management and to promote patch version levels across environments, for example, across a development, test, production, patch lifecycle. And as a managed service, OS Management Hub reduces administration overhead, operational, and maybe even capital expenditures you would have otherwise needed if you were to support your own patch tools, automation scripts, install, maintain, or subscribe to other additional costly third-party management tools. It also integrates with Oracle Ksplice that we just talked about to provide zero downtime patching for critical kernel and user space, for example, OpenSSL and glib security updates. A key feature in OS Management Hub is the automation of patching across lifecycle environments. OS Management Hub lifecycle management automation helps you maintain consistency and integrity of OS environments across dev, test, production lifecycles, or whatever lifecycle stages that you define that is appropriate for you. So a lifecycle environment in OS Management Hub is a user-defined pipeline to deliver curated version content in a very prescribed and methodical manner. So many Oracle Linux environments implement a typical application system software development, test, production lifecycle approach. So OS Management Hub lets you define the lifecycle stages, curate the version software content, and automate and promote the content across the lifecycle stages at your own desired schedule. Next up, let's explore the Oracle Linux infrastructure and automation tools to help you with security and compliance management. Security and compliance management is an integrated feature of OS Management Hub, and this includes the integration with Ksplice that we just talked about for zero downtime security updates, and allows you to apply and schedule Ksplice kernel and user space updates that take effect immediately without rebooting. OS Management Hub provides you with real-time visibility on what available security updates need to be applied to stay compliant and up to date. It provides real-time reports that help you understand where you are with respect to your security compliance. It tells you if there's an instance that's not up to date with security updates and how many security advisories are outstanding that need to be remediated. And you can drill down to security advisory information and view corresponding CVEs and examine the affected packages. And of course, you can then use OS Management Hub to apply or schedule the necessary updates to stay compliant. So all this is available and can be done in a single interface with OS Management Hub. So now I want to transition back to Simon to talk a little bit more about how some other available Oracle Linux infrastructure management tools that are included with Oracle Linux support subscriptions help you manage security and compliance. So Simon, I hand it back over to you.
Thank you, Julie. Yeah, the first important thing to share with you is that security is our overall top priority within the Linux operating system and virtualization development organization. The only thing better than automating security is not to have security issues at all. And Oracle invests so much in proactive security measures to reduce the risk. And some examples are also mentioned here. So related to the Federal Information Processing Standard Publication, so also known as FIPS, we today have different cryptographic modules validated for Oracle Linux 7 and Oracle Linux 8. We are also working on the certification for Oracle Linux 9. While looking at the common criteria certification, we already got Oracle Linux 8, Oracle Linux KVM, as well as Oracle Linux 7, reaching this kind of certification. Public available, you can easily find the security technical implementation guides for both Oracle Linux 7 and Oracle Linux 8. So guides that share with you step-by-step configuration changes that have to be applied to an Oracle Linux system to get the same following all of those best practices. And last but not least, we constantly investigate on newer Oracle Linux updates to perform security certifications. Another important thing while looking at the security, we talked before about the scenario of the multicloud, right? So system running elsewhere, on premises, on the cloud, and the requirement to have a centralized management interface. Julie shared with us the concept of OS Management Hub. Another option while looking at security, but also while looking at compliance of our system is again Oracle Linux Automation Manager, right? So the centralized automation platform, able to automate any kind of manual step for the hardware, starting from the hardware, arriving to the application level. And what we have done, Oracle is also a company investing so much in the open source, and on GitHub, for example, you can find many different open source projects managed and driven by Oracle. And between all of those, there's also one GitHub repository where you can easily find different examples where we share the code on how to, for example, apply K-Splice patches, how to check if your system is compliant, how to check if there are or there is any security issue on all of your systems, right? So the real power here is that it's automation applied to the security. Another important thing that had been also mentioned by Julie before is related to the Oracle K-Splice known exploit detection. How does it work? As soon as you have a system and you are managing the security of this system with K-Splice, so K-Splice obviously is a solution able to install security fixes on your system without the requirement of restarting the system or even restarting the services running on top. Right, so it's really a very, very important thing, and Oracle is one of the customers, if you want, of this kind of solution as a cloud vendor. But this one is not the only point. This one is not the only thing that K-Splice gives us. K-Splice is also able to identify possible attempts to exploit a patched vulnerability. So as soon as there's a security issue, and this kind of security issue has been fixed by K-Splice, if someone tries to exploit that particular security issue, you will receive an alert, right? So your system will be alerted that someone tried to exploit your system. And again, even this concept, if you think to this concept applied to all of your systems, thanks to an automation or thanks to a centralized management platform, it will give you a very powerful solution to get the control of the security status of your system, as well as possible tries or possible attempts to attack your system. Moving ahead, and here we are going to get on the last category that we mentioned at the beginning, and it's related to infrastructure monitoring and assessment, right? Here we are going to talk about the two main components that are really related to the infrastructure and its monitoring and assessment. And the first one is, again, Oracle Cloud Native Environment. Oracle Cloud Native Environment is the solution that allows to simplify container and VM management in a Kubernetes cluster. Right? Again, it's completely open source, and it's a full solution. It's a full infrastructure solution, because over there you're going to get access to Kubernetes, but not only to Kubernetes. You're going to get access to a solution able to unify container and VM management thanks to the adoption of an open source project called KubeVer. You're going to get access to container runtimes like runC, and so the opportunity to run your workload on container and leverage container images even coming from different ISV. You have a service mesh. And last but not least, you have also there observability and diagnostic, thanks to Prometheus and Grafana adoption, right? So it's a full solution. It's a full solution focused on containers, focused on VMs, and it's centralized for any kind of workload. It's a centralized management solution for any kind of workload. The other important thing related to infrastructure monitoring and assessment is related to the virtualization stack, right? We already mentioned it. We called about Oracle Linux Virtualization Manager and the Oracle Linux KVM. And even here, the opportunity is to have a centralized management interface, so Oracle Linux Virtualization Manager, able to manage my KVM servers, my compute host, and also able to manage networking, storage, and so on and so on. And the entire virtualization, the entire infrastructure virtualization solution is also going to get access to the huge list of guest operating systems supported to run on this infrastructure. Now, I think that Julie is going also to share an important thing.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. So to summarize, the key takeaway is that Oracle Linux is more than the operating system. It includes Linux, but it also brings along live patching, management, high availability, and clustering tools. And it also includes virtualization, as you've seen with KVM and Virtualization Manager. It includes support for modern tools such as Kubernetes, Automation Manager, and much more. It's a single comprehensive offering that really covers you from the bare metal all the way up to modern container apps. So normally with this array of products and tools, you'll be measuring, for example, servers, cores, network bandwidth, VMs, and management nodes, and sort of building a whole spreadsheet to understand your costs. And some organizations may be worried that if they upgrade anything, that's going to trigger an increase somewhere. So that kind of pricing model is how costs can actually explode when you start scaling out to larger projects across your whole organization. So with Oracle Linux Premier Support, we provide all this with a simple support subscription that just basically counts the number of servers and physical CPUs. Now I want to pass it back to Simon one more time for the additional comments to conclude this presentation. Simon?
Yeah, thank you, Julie. Yeah, and Julie just shared with us, right, the fact that we have one unique Oracle Linux Premier Support subscription able to address all of those components, right? So Oracle Linux is not just the operating system. It's really a stack, right? It's really an ecosystem. And the point here that we really wanted to share with you is the fact, starting from all the challenges and all the requirements that a company has or IT administrators have, right? With one single Oracle Linux Premier Support subscription, we are able to address all of them, right? So we are able to address deployment and provisioning, software management and updates, reporting, security and compliance, as well as monitoring and assessment. So again, this one is really a differentiator, right? As soon as you're going to leverage Oracle Linux and the Oracle Linux ecosystem, you're going to get access to all of those management infrastructure solutions, as well as automation, again, with one single support subscription. That said, I would like to thank everyone for the time dedicated today, and back to you, moderator. Thank you.
Thank you for attending our webcast today, and thank you, Simon and Julie, for sharing your insights with us. If for some reason we were unable to answer your questions during the broadcast, please go to oracle.com/Linux and use the chat feature. You can also view our on-demand webcasts by scanning the QR code or visiting oracle.com/TuxTechTalks. Follow us on social media to get the latest information and to hear about upcoming events for Oracle Linux and virtualization. Thank you and have a great day.